Okay, we are solving inequalities again. Okay, you guys, back to solving. It's been a weekend, so do you remember what it means to solve? I'm hearing better. Finding all the numbers that make the equation true. There might not be any that make the equation true. Okay. I was just going to say that. Thank you. Sit up. Okay, we're going to do ones that have multiplying and dividing. Now, there's a couple ways we can do this, Michael. If I have 2, how does that compare to 4? I'm going to show you what happens, but we're always going to use this idea, and then we won't ever get it wrong, because we're going to forget this little detail. How does 2 compare to 4? Jacob? 2 is less than 4. What if I multiply both sides by a negative 2? I'm going to multiply that by negative 2 and this one by negative 2. Okay? So, what do I get for answers? I'm going to get a negative 4 here, and I'm going to get a negative 8, right? Now, Merdice, what about the inequality? Is negative 4 still smaller than negative 8? No. So, if I want to make that so it's a true statement, Nick, what has to happen to this inequality symbol? It has to switch over. So the rule is, if you want to learn the rule, if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you reverse, that's a little crooked, you reverse inequality. When we added or subtracted, if I have 2 is less than 4, what if I add a negative 2 to both sides? Did that reverse? What's this going to give you? That's 0, right? And 4 minus 2 is 2. What happened to my inequality symbol? Does that stay the same? Which one's smaller, 0 or 2? 0 is smaller. Isn't 0 smaller than 2? Okay, so when I added or subtracted, that didn't change. But I didn't teach you that. I said, just solve, find the boundary, and then look to see which numbers make the sentence true. And honestly, that's still the easiest way to do this. I don't really have to worry about this little statement right here. Multiplying or dividing by negative numbers reverses the inequality. It's all you have to remember about inequalities. Otherwise, you solve them just like equations. Or you can just look for solutions. So we can just do that. So this is negative 5x is greater than or equal to 25. Now, the traditional way to do this is negative 5x is greater than or equal to 25. How would you get x by itself? Divide by negative 5. When you do that, you have to remember this, that x, this is going to switch, will be less than or equal to negative 5. So negative 5 is right here. Do I get to fill that in or not?
Yeah. Will it always switch?
When you multiply or divide by a negative, it will always switch. I'm going to fill it in, and numbers smaller than negative 5 are left or right? Michael? Well, let's try 0. Does 0 make that true?
Oh, no.
Is 0? Nope. It's going to go the other way. Or you can do this, what I call the easy way, just the way I did it last week. Pretend it's equals. So I've got, and I have no space here, negative 5x equals 25, right? And we divide by negative 5. I don't have to remember anything. So where's my boundary? Negative 5, which is right here. And then you test. Put 0 right into this one. Is 0 greater than or equal to 25? Is that true? No. So I have to shade the other way. So I can remember this rule, or I can just do the problem and just test the regions. Honestly, doing the problem and testing the regions is the easiest. So how would you solve for this one? Now that one might bother you because it's n divided by 4. How would I get n by itself? How would I undo dividing? Well, I am dividing. How would I undo dividing? Multiply by 4. Is that okay, Gabe? Sorry if I'm in the way. Tell me if I am. What happens to those? Those cancel, and I'm going to get n. Let's find the boundary equals 12. Do I get to fill it in? Is that a filled in circle? It's less than or equal to? Yes. So at 12, I'm going to fill it in. And then, Gabe, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to try 0. 0 is over here to the left. Is 0 divided by 4 smaller or equal to 3? Jake, is that true or not? Is 0 smaller than 3? Sure it is. I'd rather have $3 than $0. So which way does it shade? To the left. Now, I didn't multiply or divide by a negative, so it wouldn't switch anyway. But that's something to remember. This is so much easier. Just pretend. Yeah, sorry, just jumped on me. It's only the negatives with the x's that cause me problems. Just pretend that this is 2n equals 2. Where's the boundary? No, what do you do with this? Divide by what? 2. So n equals, no, 2 divided by 2 is 1. You should be writing these down because these are your problems. N equals 1. Do I get to include it? Now you got to go back here and look at it. So if you think about it, when I do with inequalities, if I do it this way, I do every single problem exactly the same way. Nothing to remember. Just find the boundary, test the regions. That's it. 2 things to remember. Okay, Roosman, do I get to include the 1 or not? Do I get to include 1 or not? It says 2n is greater than 2. Doesn't say greater than or equal to. It doesn't have the little line under there. So no, I don't get to include that. And then what's the easiest number I can put in here to test? 0. Is 0 bigger than 2? Is 0 bigger than 2?
Yes. No. It looks bigger than this.
Look at this. Here's 2. Okay, is 0 bigger than 2? I'll make it smaller. No, because this is to the left, so it's going to go that way. You know, you got a 50-50 chance which way you shade it. So first you solve the equation. Okay, Gabe? So these are harder because they're fractions. But it's n over 4 equals negative 1/4. So what am I going to multiply both sides by? Because I want n all by itself. 4. Now what's going to happen to the 4s? Do you know what happens to those? Okay, Michael? They're going to cancel, right? So I get n equals to negative 1. Now, do I get to include the negative 1? Does it have the extra little line here? Not why not. It's because it is included. It says less than or equal to. Is that okay? So at negative 1, that's my boundary. I get to shade it in. Now, I'm going to test 0, which is over here. Is 0 smaller than or equal to negative 1/4? Look at the right side here. Is 0 smaller than a negative number? No, it's bigger. So this is not true. I can't shade 0. It's not true. So I'll shade the other side. It's either true or it's false. I could put in other numbers over here, but then you have to figure out how to take 1/4 of whatever number it is. If I do 0, it's a lot easier. How about number 5? This is going to be a little trickier because where's my boundary point? I have negative 3x equals 0. We're going to pretend it's equals right in the beginning, and this will extend to the next algebra classes you take. It makes everything easy all the way through calculus. No, this is times. What's the opposite of multiplying? Divide. What's 0 divided by any number? It's 0. Okay, guys? You see why it's 0? 0 divided by any number, use your calculator if you need to, is 0. So 0, do I get to include that or not? Why not? Because it doesn't have the little line. If it were greater than or equal to, I would get to include it, but it's not. Now, yeah, that's right above it. Now, it doesn't matter which side you test. I can't test 0. 5. I can't test 0. What number would you like to put in there? I'm sorry, what? 1. Negative 3 times 1, is that bigger than 0? That's a negative 3. Is that bigger than 0? No. So which way is it going to shade? Not to the 1, but to the left. That's all you do. Let's do the fraction one. Let's do 6 and 7, and then I'll let you guys work. Let you try it on your own. Okay? 6. Some number divided by 4, we're going to make it equal to negative 2. We're going to find the dividing point, Gabe. So what am I going to do? Multiply by what, Murdy's? 4. What kind of 8? So m equals negative 8. You have a little help because the number line's already there. So if it hadn't started there, you would have been in trouble. Do I get to include it? Now, where do you look to know if you include it? Right there. So, Jake, do I get to fill it in or not? Not a why not. Okay, now what number do you want to test? 0's over here. You can, but then I have to do negative 7 divided by 4. I really don't know how that compares, Michael. Let's try 0. What's 0 divided by 4?
0.
Is that smaller than negative 2? 0's here, negative 2 is right there. It's bigger. Is this true or false? It's false. Is that okay, Gabe? So it's false. So you know what? I can't shade the 0. So which way am I going to shade? No. If I shade to the right, I'm including 0. I don't want to include 0. All I'm doing is testing. Is it true or false? Okay, Murdy's? Let's try another one. You guys try this one. Where's the boundary here? Okay, so you had to solve for that. Do you need a pencil?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have said something. I forgot to ask, too. There you go.
Wait, Miss G, can you scroll up?
I certainly may.
Just a little.
So you guys try number 7 and try number 8.
You're not going to help us?
Yeah, I want you to try it first. First, find the boundary. Find the boundary. Where's the boundary there on that one? What's n going to be equal to?
Negative 5.
-5, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
What color was what?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So pretend it's equals. So where is that break point? Okay, guys, what do you... Yeah, ask Miss Liedall to write you a pass. Oh, no, I have plenty. That's the answers. These are the answers.
Oh, my bad.
So,
Thank you. Got it. Yeah. Yep.
yeah. Okay, did you find the dividing point?
oh, yeah.
-5. Don't put the inequality in. Otherwise, you have to remember about the multiplying dividing piece. Right? Okay. Marie, where's the dividing point here? Where's the boundary? What did you solve that? What'd you get? No. Divide by -3. What do you get? -5. Okay? Roseman? Okay, which side did you graph, Roseman? take, Gabe, why are you going back that way? Okay, you're past. Okay. Does everybody get -5? Michael, do you get -5? What's 15 divided by -3? -5. You should all be able to do this without a problem. You should know -3 times what gives you +15. Now, which one do you want to test, Josh? Michael? You want to test 0?
Yeah.
'Cause 0 would be over here, wouldn't it? So is 0 bigger than 15? It's not a -15, it's a +15. Is 0 bigger than 15? No, it's not. So which way are we going to go? Left. See, this is easy if you do it my way. When you divide by negative, you have to reverse that inequality. That's hard to remember for some reason. So where's the dividing point on this one? You're going to have to divide by 3, -3. Paris is already there, I think. -3v equals 45. We want to find the boundary. That's the place. This will be either true on one side or false on that side. That's it. Rusban, what's the answer here? That's right. Rusban, what's 45 divided by -3? Mardice, do you know? What kind of 15? -15. Do I get to include it? Do I get to shade it in?
No.
No. Now, we're going to test. It's either going to be to the right or the left. That's the only choices you have, Michael. Right or left. How are we going to decide? Let's put in 0, which is way over here. Is 0 bigger than 45? No. So you can't shade the side with 0. You have to shade the other side. If that seems too easy for math, that's because it is easy. Yep. This point, when you solve for the letter, gives you the dividing point, gives you the boundary. Then you test both sides or one side and see if it's true or if it's false. That's it. So I'm going to let you try these. Well, we can just kind of do it together, but I want you to try it first. Now, you may need a calculator. Pardon? Yes. That's number 8. That's -15. So try this one. I don't care. Not me. So you might need a calculator. No, this is what we'll get done in class today. We never have homework. Then tomorrow, they're all going to be mixed up. So if you learn it this way, you don't have to worry about the fact that they're mixed up. Do you have to reverse the inequality or not? Don't worry about it. Find the boundary. My quadratics, they don't have homework. I'm teaching quadratic, so.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
So you are staying?
At this stage, I am.
1 year? You're staying 1 more year?
At this stage. You guys, I don't know what that is. Help me out.
Doesn't make sense.
Verdies, how many times is 8 going to 96?
Yay! See, I talked to her.
12? Okay. Do I get to include it, George? Look at this. It's less than. Is it filled in or not? Don't have the little line there. Now, you just test 0. Where's 0, by the way? To the left or the right of this? Left. Okay, so we're going to try 0. Is 0, because 8 times 0 is 0, is that smaller than 96? I'd much rather have $96 than no dollars. So yes, it's true. I can't make it any easier. If you can't solve those, then that could be a problem, yeah. Ready to try 10? And Hannah, we do the same thing with the adding. It's no different.
I don't get the,
Which part? Help me out.
like when you do like 0.
I always test. I can test any number here on either side. But why did I choose 0? Because 8 times 0 is 0. So 0 is a nice number.
So that's why it goes the other way.
Well, no, it goes through the 0. 0's over here.
Yeah.
This is true.
Okay.
What about 8 times 11? Is 8 times 11 smaller than 96? Yes. If one of these makes it true, all numbers on that side make it true. This is the boundary. This is the wall. One side of the on the wall will make it true, or the other side, but not both. Should make sense. Nick, did you find the boundary for number 10? Not 1. Well, 10 times what number equals negative 10? What are we going to do? Divide by what? Chelsea, do you have this? 10. What's this going to be? B equals negative 1. Do I get to include negative 1, Melissa? Do I get to include negative 1? You need to be paying attention. I do get to do that. Now, there's 0. I see 0 this time. Does 0 make that true? Is 0 smaller than negative 10? No. So guess what? I don't get to shade the side with 0. Because if 0 doesn't make it true, nothing over here makes it true. It goes the other way. And a little straighter line on that. Do you see how I'm doing them? Yeah. Now the fraction ones, of course, will give you some trouble. But not really. This is B, some number divided by 6 equals negative 3. 2 divided by 6 is 1/3. What's the opposite of dividing by 6? No, divide. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I put a 6 here, and I put a 6 here, and somebody in the back, I think it was Merdy, said negative 18. Might have been George, I don't know. So there it is. Do I get to include negative 18? No. Now, what's the easiest number you can put in there, George? What's 0 divided by 6?
Yeah, George, what is it?
It's 0. Why do you think I chose 0? It's easy. Is 0 bigger than negative 3? Yes. So we shade that way. Gotta ask me questions. If you're not understanding something, you have to say it. It's okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you do all of these together?
Kind of think we're doing is we've got a whole side. So you should get this done, but don't forget the blue ones should be coming to me, and they're all done the same way. From Friday, yeah, the blue one on adding.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I know. Weekend does that, doesn't it? So do you have the dividing point here, Paris? What is it?
Well, what? I'm going through the problem. Okay, so you do 5 times 5.
No, 5 times 1/5.
And then 3 times 5.
So where's the dividing point?
15.
That's right. Do I get to shade it in or not?
And so 0.
Is that smaller than 3? Yes, you do. Put your number line here. It's 0, 1, 2, 3. These are smaller. Yeah, that's true. So which side will I shade? The side with the 0.
So what?
Yep.
You were to shade this side with the 0.
If it's true. If it's not true, I shade the other way. Yeah, that makes a big difference. You should be ahead of me. Are we ready to change pages yet?
Who is that?
Oops. Okay. Oh, look at all those fractions. Ooh. I don't like fractions. They're all divided by. What's the opposite of dividing by 9?
Multiply by 9.
Oh. And you know what? If you try to divide by 9, you look at your number line. They helped you out. What's 10 times 9? 90. Do I get to include it? Do I have to shade it in or no?
Yeah.
Michael, you should be doing this with me. Okay, Michael? Where is 0? Is 0 on the left or the right of this circle? Okay, so we're going to try that. Is 10 smaller than 0?
Yep.
No, it's bigger. Do I get to shade the 0 side or the other side? Other side. That's it. These are written backwards. Not only do we have fractions, but some of them are written backwards. But you don't have to worry about any of that. I used to teach it, well, you turn it around and all that stuff. Honestly, just test the sides, one side or the other. So I get negative 12 equals 6r. So find your dividing point. What do we have to do to solve for that, Michael? No. It's the opposite of multiplying by 6. Dividing by 6. And so r equals negative 2. Got to divide. Some of you are subtracting. Okay. So negative 2. Do I get to include it? No, I don't have the little line. Okay, now I got to decide which side I'm going to shade. So, Elias, if I try the 0, which is right there, negative 12, is that smaller than 6 times 0? In other words, is negative 12 smaller than 0? Is that true or false, Elias? It's true, right? So which side do I shade? The right side. Otherwise, it's so confusing. I'd have to switch this, 6r, let's see, negative 12. You know, I can do that, but it's just so much harder to remember to switch everything. Or if I divide by a negative, I have to remember that. I don't have to remember anything. Just find the boundary, Michael. Where's the boundary here? What number do you divide by 3 to give you a negative 9? And if you look here, you got some ideas. So how do you undo dividing by 3? Multiplying by 3.
9 times 3 is 27.
What kind is 27? It's a negative 9.
Negative.
Negative. Okay, girls, stop texting. Negative 27.
Yeah, stop that.
So negative 27. Now, do I get to include it? Michael, do I include it? It's just a less than. So negative 27. And where's 0? To the right or left? It's way over here to the right. So we try it. Is 0 smaller than negative 9?
No.
No. I won't shade the side with 0 then. I'll shade the other side. Okay, give it a try. Should be ahead of me. Like Hannah's ahead of me.
Where's G? I need help.
That was quick.